Did you know, since 1985, Crime Stoppers has helped solve close to 8,000 crimes in New Brunswick? Crime Stoppers, 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477 or www.crimenb.ca.
should never have agreed to this last race. She's too old.
Eddie! Coming in there! The cops are halyard, Mac! Get to it, Mac!
Appears there's some kind of difficulty.
The console's foul!
Just once more, old girl, and you can rest.
Her last race and still undefeated, the Blue Nose out of Lunenburg, Nova Scotia was fastest in the world for almost 20 years.
I have no idea who I'm supposed to be out there.
I myself have come from a wrestling family too. I know exactly what it means to you. But don't worry about being the next me. Be the first you.
Kyle's dead. Tell me what happened.
We got mixed up with some drug dealer.
Gonna kill him.
3 of Viking's drug dealers have disappeared.
What makes you think you can kill a man?
I read it in a crime novel.
Do you have information about a crime that has occurred or is about to occur? This information can help solve crimes, and tipsters always remain anonymous. Crime Stoppers, 1-800-222-TIPS or www.crimenb.ca.
Thank you so much for staying tuned with me. I'm now with my second guest for this evening. We have Jennifer and Olivia with SD Art Initiative. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thanks for having us, Heather. So Jennifer and Olivia.
Uh-huh.
And Olivia, you're a student with SD Art Creation, aren't you? And you have a bag. You want to put the bag up just to show just what it looks like? Cool. SD Art Initiative. That's nice. So Jennifer, tell us a little bit about what is SD Art Initiative.
The SD Art Initiative is an art program that engages children in school and in life through art.
Okay.
So we are a group of professional artists all across New Brunswick that go into elementary schools and do art. And Olivia was one of the students that did that with us this year.
Oh,
so it was pretty awesome.
fantastic.
It's fun.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
So what's the best part about the art class? What do you like the best? Is it painting or?
I don't really know. It's all my favorite. I like all of it.
You like
it's
all
so
of it?
much fun.
Yeah. Now, do you find you draw or paint more since you've been in art class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more. A lot more.
So how many students does a class hold?
So a class is generally around 20.
Okay.
20 students a class, and we go for 10 weeks.
Okay.
So we get to know the kids pretty well, which is awesome. We have them for an hour and a half once a week for 10 weeks.
Wow.
And we fill up their sketchbook. So inside Olivia's bag is a custom sketchbook, which is pretty cool.
Okay. Let's bring that out for a second. Show everybody a little bit about that. Okay, that's your sketchbook, and that's done. Well, it's all branded and everything. That's lovely.
It is. We get these done for us by Taylor Printing, which is awesome. They do a great job for us. And they've made them, I was on the search for a book that would work for us for a long time, and we couldn't find one. So when you can't find something, you make it, right?
That's right.
So it's got 5 different sections in it. We've got watercolor paper and acrylic, canvas paper, marker paper.
Mixed media.
Mixed media paper.
Mixed media paper, okay.
So
yeah,
then
there's a term I don't know.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So they get this on the first day, and it's theirs to keep forever and ever, and they bring it back each week, and then our artists come with all the different materials that we use, and they fill it up. So what, Olivia, was your favorite one that you did?
The strawberries.
The strawberries.
Oh,
can you show
see
it to Heather?
Yes, let's see the strawberries. Wow, they're beautiful.
Can you tell what her favorite color is?
I can tell it's, well, she's wearing it.
Yes, she is wearing it.
Even her glasses have the same color teal on them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
Thank you.
See, I would frame that. You
Yes.
should frame it.
Well, that's my rule, is I say it can be taken out of your sketchbook if it's being upgraded to the fridge or a frame.
Oh, very nice.
But other than that, we should keep it together. So you've
Right.
got this nice coffee table book of art.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
I just keep it in the books.
You prefer to keep them in the books.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have a collection of these books, or have you started, is this your first book?
This is my first one.
Do you
and
think it's your last one, or you think you're going to keep going?
I don't think I can go anymore because I'm in grade 5.
You're great, but you can
She's
still
graduating.
You can still paint, though.
Yeah, I can still paint.
And you're still going to plan on painting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of extra room in that book to fill it up. She's just finished the program. We've just wound up. So she's our graduate, one of our most recent graduates.
Oh, okay. So how does somebody get involved with the program, Jennifer?
Well, there's a few different ways. I mean, as an artist, if you're an artist in the community and you want to teach, that's a great way. And we're a nonprofit, so we're looking to get the community involved, different ways to help sponsor students to be able to take this that might not otherwise have the opportunity to do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what schools are you in, what areas, I should
yes,
say?
so we're province-wide. Okay. So we run most of our schools between St. John, Fredericton, and Moncton, but then we do some in Miramichi and Bathurst, and so we're sort of all over. So also, if you're a parent or a principal at a school that would like to have the program and we're not there, we can do that. We'll just have to round up some more artists to come, but each year we always add a few more schools, so it's growing every year. I think there's around 70 schools right now.
That's
in the
incredible,
province.
though. Really? So they've all implemented the program.
They all have the program
for students. Now, is it a certain level of art or artistic talent that you get to be part of this?
The prerequisite for the art program is that you have to want to be there.
Okay, well, that's fair.
It's not very strict. We don't have a whole lot of rules with that sort of thing. So what we do is we bring all of our artists together for a couple of days before the program starts. We go through all the curriculums. We say, this is the sort of things we hope that they get from it. This is really exciting. We practice, and then we all disperse across the province and deliver that. So if you are a student that takes it at Quispamsis Elementary School,
that's where you're from, right?
Yes.
Yeah, or maybe at Park Street, you will get a similar experience, but of course not the same one, because all of our artists then put on their own flair. So we have some of our professional artists are photographers or painters. So it's just about the creative spirit more so than a specific kind of art.
Right.
Sort of break the rules, right?
Wow. Is there one type of art or art medium that you use more consistent than others, or is it something? Can you give me an example of? Even though we talked about the paper, what else do you get involved with?
Do you remember
this
some
year
of it?
we used mostly markers. We used 3 pieces of marker paper.
Okay.
And all the rest was like 1 or 2. So.
Yeah. Do you remember any of the other mediums? What did you do your strawberries in?
Watercolor.
Watercolor. Yeah. So we use different mediums and we match them to the different paper. So we've got watercolor paint. We've got acrylic. We do markers, both alcohol-based and water-based, so they react differently on our paper.
Oh, okay.
We do some graphite. So it's all two-dimensional.
Okay.
It's not 3D, it's not crafts. There's nothing, of course, wrong with crafts, but this program in particular is really about drawing and painting.
Yeah, so they're not going to be creating anything out of clays and structures and metals. And
not in
like
this
that.
program.
No,
Not in this
maybe
program.
another time.
We love that, but that's a little harder to transport around. So
yeah, absolutely, for sure. So we'll ask if we can have a couple of photos put up, and maybe we can talk to the photo of what we're seeing.
Sure, absolutely.
So whenever they're ready. So we have up there in that.
Yes.
There's a girl with I think it's a bumblebee.
It is a bumblebee.
Yeah.
Did you do bumblebee as well?
Yes.
Maybe you can find yours. So we did bumblebees with something. Our medium was called watercolor pencils, and they're really fun medium. They look like a pencil crayon, but really it's paint inside, and so we paint and draw at the same time. So they're pretty
fantastic.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. And that picture there is done with, is that with watercolor or is
that is with markers. Those are alcohol-based markers.
Nice.
We do portraits each year, but this year we did anime style. So we did our own self-portraits, but stylized there.
I love that. And that one is?
And that's an acrylic painting.
Like
doing
tree.
some foreshortened trees.
Is that a tree? Is that a tree, Livia?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a tree. And
that's
is he in your class?
that's midway through the piece.
Oh, okay.
And this one.
The kids look like they have a good time.
They have a great time. So those smiles are what determines if we're successful or not.
Yes.
When we look like that at the end of the class.
Absolutely. Oh, wow.
It's really exciting.
Is this must be a collection of
This is a collection. And so a lot of the curriculums come from ideas the students want to do. We'll say, if you could draw anything, what would it be? And I always make a running list. Yeah. And llamas were a big request. And we laughed because there's just something about llamas that are really funny, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. This is interesting. It looks like a set. What is that?
This is an owl.
That's
and
an
one
owl.
of the sections in their
I need
books,
glasses anyway, so I'm looking at a distance
is
here.
on black paper.
Oh, that's probably why. Yeah, it's a night owl.
It's a night owl.
I
we
see
did,
the owl.
Yeah, these are oil pastel owls on black paper.
Nice.
So sometimes it's nice to do, tricks the brain a little bit to do the light on dark instead of
the dark on light.
Yeah.
Very cool. So with your, do you have something you want to show me? I think you do. Is that your bee?
Yeah.
Okay, hold up your bee so we can see it. So, oh, well, that is adorable. And so, and I see you've got a tulip, and is that watercolor in that one as well?
Yeah.
So that would be...
They're watercolor pencils.
They're watercolor pencils. Okay. Well, thank you for the correction.
Yes.
You want to keep holding that up for a moment there so everybody can see that. So with that, with the watercolor pencil, do they do a sketch first and then they transfer to this paper, or do they just work directly on this photo?
They're brave, Heather. They go right into it. And I say we generally start the same and finish different.
Oh.
So we say, okay, we're going to start as bumblebees, and
Yes.
the artist will walk them through.
Yes.
But we never walk them through to the end. We'll sort of
Let them
say,
be the
okay,
creative side.
here's this style of bumblebee, or this one, or maybe yours has some flowers, or some of this, and they all turn out different. And
Right.
that's what we love. So we don't want to take that away by giving them what the final project should look like.
Oh, for sure.
It's always different.
Now, to get more information, if somebody's watching this now and says, well, I'd love for my child to be part of this,
Sure.
would they go to a
Online
website?
is probably the best thing. Either our Facebook page, the
Okay.
SD Art Initiative's Facebook page, or sdart.com is our Facebook or our website.
Yes.
Or of course by phone. I know people, that's an old technology, but we still
You
love it.
answer
We
the
just love
phone.
to talk to people. So we have a phone number 638-9194. They can get a live person, and we're always happy to talk about the program.
Excellent.
And answer anything from anyone that has a question on any part of it.
So do you look for sponsors as well?
Yes,
For
absolutely.
being part of the program?
Absolutely. So two of our sponsors we've sort of showed tonight. So our sketchbooks we get from Taylor Printing, which has really helped us out. And the bags come from the SD Group, which
local?
of course we're a big fan. They are local, yes. My sister is the 5th generation there, and they create swag with all sorts of things. So of course we knew exactly where to get our bags, and the kids love them. They're the Purple Bag Club. So when
That's pretty cool.
organizations help us out like that, it makes a really big difference. We try to make this as affordable as possible for the average family.
Yes.
But then we also have a pretty robust sponsorship program.
Fantastic.
So if a child really wants to take part, and the one and only thing that's holding them back is, mom and dad just can't afford an art lesson, we have parents call us and we work out something with them, and it's the sponsors that help us allocate that. And a question that we get is, well, how do we decide? It's a little bit, we get to know the parents and the kids, and our schools help us. And we want to make sure it's fair. And again, we come back to the prerequisite. It's, do they really want to be there?
Right.
And so if they do, I'll say, I'll do whatever I can to get you there. But we need sponsors to help us do that.
So once again, it's the same no matter what school you're at. It's the afternoon.
It's the afternoon, so we stay for an hour and a half after school.
After school.
1 day a week.
And does it change for no matter where you are, or is it sort of, it's always the same day for everybody?
It's the same, no, so, well, each school gets their own day.
Okay.
So our artists will work up to 5 days, and we have different teams of artists. So, at Quispam-Sis, we have so many kids, we did it Tuesdays and Wednesdays, because we couldn't fit them all in one classroom. So, but they would always pick, the same students would stay with us every Tuesday, and the same students would stay with us every Wednesday, so we could make sure that we gave them the experience that they needed.
Oh, okay. Very
Yeah.
good. And do you have anything else to add about your art? Are you going to be in an art gallery show or anything? Do you do a show?
We do.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was really fun because all the kids got to pick 1 or 2 art pieces that they wanted, and then we had stands that we put our art book on, and then the parents came and looked at our art, and it was really fun to watch.
Nice. Now,
Yes, that's how we finish the 10 weeks, is with a little art show.
oh, well, that's really cool.
Parents,
So,
grandparents, you name it. they all
do
come.
people bid on their art too, or is it more of just a show?
Show.
It's just a show.
Some of them try and put a little bit of a price tag on there. I saw once and it said $0 to $1 million. And I thought, oh, that's a great way to price your art.
That is so cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you for
really
having
appreciate
us,
you
Heather.
coming on, and
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you be an artist in the future, right? Stay tuned. Would like to, our next guest will be Seth Athamakis with the Community Loan Fund. Stay tuned.
we've got to talk about cannabis. It scares me to think that you could end up in the streets.
You're such a pain.
Was I really that bad?
Well, that's how your son might react. Maybe try to be less dramatic and tell him you're only bugging him because you love him.
Okay, thanks.
So, want to practice the part where he reminds you that you've tried it too?
Talking to teens about cannabis can be tricky. Practice the cannabis talk with our kids before having it with yours.
Looking for the best way to get the Major League Baseball games you want to watch? Rogers Super Sports Pack has you covered. With MLB Extra Innings, you'll have a premium ticket to over 2,000 out-of-market regular season games, with all games available in HD. Don't miss the action from the games you want from both the American and National Leagues. MLB Extra Innings, part of the Super Sports Pack. For only $35.95 a month, Rogers customers get all this for one all-inclusive price. Order using your remote starting on channel 431 or visit Rogers.com today.
Do you have something to share? Let everyone know about your next meeting, your need for volunteers, or your fundraising event on the Rogers TV Community Billboard. Send us your words and we'll bring them to life on Rogers TV and RogersTV.com. When it's time to spread the word, go to RogersTV.com to add your announcement to the Community Billboard.
More than half of tips reported through the Crime Stoppers program are now reported online. Information about unsolved crimes, local advisories, and how to report tips anonymously can be found at www.crimenb.ca.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. I'm now with my third guest of the evening, and his name is Seth, and he's with the Community Loan Fund, and we're going to learn a little bit about what's going on at the Community Loan Fund. Hi, Seth. How you doing?
Hi, Heather. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, well, I've had to try and get you here a couple of times. You've been really, really busy,
yes.
So I'm really glad that you took the time for tonight to be here with us. So what's going on at the Community Loan Fund? I know there's tons of stuff happening, so you got to tell us.
Well, just for those people who haven't heard about it before, the Community Loan Fund, what's interesting is the 20th anniversary. Come September will be the first time we made a loan.
Fantastic.
So that's, we're going to celebrate that. And if we go back to the date when we started, that's what we did. We did microfinance to an individual to start a business or get back to work.
Right.
Since then, over 20 years, we've diversified quite a bit. And now we do financing. We do training, and we do real estate development for a social purpose. And one of the things about financing that's happened is that we've changed from individuals to investing in organizations that are doing interesting work as well.
Oh, okay.
So, for instance, we just invested in an individual who's building boxes for food trucks. Food trucks that are specifically for the kind of the food bank industry that are trying to service food deserts that don't have fresh food, whether it's in rural or large urban centers. So that's an example of kind of pushing the envelope. We still do small loans to individuals to get back to work and get to start a business. But we're also investing in social enterprise and enterprising nonprofits to actually have a bigger impact as well.
Of course,
so,
yes.
And on the training side, we started with financial literacy, so we do that with a number of organizations and their clients in the region. And we also work with women specifically in a 90-hour program called Enterprising Women, and we do that in St. Stephen, St. John, and Sussex. And we have a lot of different types of businesses starting through them.
Okay.
We work with youth in the summer as well, and this year is going to be kind of neat because we're going to focus on more social entrepreneurship, looking at challenges in the neighborhood and try to come up with solutions. Hopefully working with Brilliant Labs at the Teen Resource Center.
Nice.
And then finally, in real estate, we started on Prince Edward Street like roughly years ago. Buying a 3-unit that we gutted and renovated, and we put ourselves on the ground floor.
Yes.
While we were there, we started buying lots next door. I'm going to bring this up because it shows you a bit.
Okay.
Right here is the building that we purchased years ago, and these were vacant lots here.
Right.
And so over time, we were able to actually get the financing together and build the hub.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it's colored like that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's nice and bright.
Yeah. So this is our 20th anniversary, and that's, I guess, a big element for this year. A call out, I guess, is for individuals, anybody who's interested in making having a celebration with us. We're going to be bringing in individuals that have received some form of either financing or were in training with us to come back and kind of celebrate with us. So it'll be kind of neat.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and we're going to do it in the neighborhood, so that'll be neat.
Yeah.
One of the other things that we did with the hub, and what we try to do with everything that we do, is integrate kind of purposes.
Okay.
So we're building the hub. It's a neat place for enterprise and nonprofits and stuff like that. And it's a neat construction, looks cool. But what we also did is we added solar to the roof. And I'm just flipping through here to find it. There it is. So this just shows the solar panels on the roof.
Oh, yes, I see that. Yeah, there's
right
the solar
here.
panels. Yeah.
And the panels, so one of the things I want to do is be an environmental, have reduce environmental footprint.
Sure.
But we also, in doing this, we work with a great company, NextGen, and we brought on youth who are in the Learning Exchange program, Goals program, and another project in the neighborhood to come and actually learn about solar and actually put the panels in place.
Oh my goodness.
So we're integrating, construction, we're integrating environment, we're integrating youth learning about the next generation of project or work.
Of
really.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What this shows is this can be found on our website. So if you went on our website and you went to the hub, you clicked on the hub and it would come down. You'd see solar at the hub.
Yes.
And when you get there, you'll see this graph because this is open data.
Yes.
Any hour you can see what we're producing. Any 15 minutes actually.
Oh, so it's actually a live.
Yeah, it's a live feed. Yeah.
Wow.
So this graph I just printed off a few days ago, and what it shows you is in the one. Last September when we really went online, that's the highest bar right there. And then the winter goes down and now we're starting to come back up. So we're hoping that with this will reduce our consumption of energy, and there will be times that we actually produce more than we're consuming, go back in the grid. So that's kind of cool.
I like that.
Because we did this, we were called, I don't know, a month or so ago, and there's an eco-building tour, and there's people that are touring different kind of examples of
businesses,
building, like individuals, businesses, what have you. And apparently, we're the largest solar panel installation in St. John, which is not. It's not a very big. There's 60 panels, so we can do a lot better than that. But it's a start.
Of course.
And so, as part of the tour, people are coming on June 1st. So anybody's welcome to come on June 1st. I think it's 1:00 to the hub to have a tour. So we'll be part of that tour. Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
And you have some people that house with you at the hub. Can you give us an idea who's under their roof of that solar roof?
Yeah, in the hub, there's 4 nonprofits primarily. There's the Learning Exchange, which does literacy and transition to work training. They operate social enterprises there as well. There's ACAP, which is a very innovative and leading environmental stewardship organization that do testing and so on around actually in that area, like what's that, Courtney Bay? Yeah.
Yes.
The Marsh Creek. Yeah.
Yes.
And they're very active in planning how do we mitigate issues with the warming of the planet.
Right.
We're right on the shore, so obviously we're going to have impacts. So they're leading those discussions and actually drawing up maps and so on. So that's really cool. Then there's the Human Development Council, which is a social planning agency.
Okay.
And they do really creative and great work around data collection in neighborhoods to really map out are people improving? Is their status, their quality of life improving or not? And what is it that we have to do to ensure that happens? So those are just 3 or 4, and then there's the community loan fund. So those are the groups that started there, and there's Reed St. John there, there's Living SJ, and there's a few others as well. Excellent. We also have a wellness room where we have belly dancers and yoga and meditation at night, so it's kind of cool.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
And do you still have a little storefront?
Yeah, there's the Impact Market. It's in transition right now, but part of it will be retained with Stone Soup Catering.
Okay.
So the cafe is very, very vibrant, and hopefully soon we'll put a deck out for the summer as well. So that will hopefully invite people.
Did you have to purchase more land to put the deck on? Or is
No, that was part of the platform. It's just that it's in stages, right?
Oh, okay.
On the roof, we're actually doing something interesting with the Learning Exchange. They want to build microgreens or grow microgreens on the roof. So that's our next project with the Learning Exchange. So it's kind of cool.
And what is a microgreen?
They're basically vegetables, lettuce and stuff that you grow quickly, but you harvest before they become huge lettuce, right? So, and then they're added to salads, and they have more, I guess, vitamins and nutrients and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Neat. And so that'll be on the roof.
Yeah, that will be coming in the month of June. That will start to be built out. Yeah, so we'll have solar and microgreens up there. We're going to hopefully have a little platform so that people can observe and take a look at it.
Nice.
Because we want it to be a learning experience, a learning opportunity for people as well. Yeah.
Excellent.
So that's the hub is, it's pretty interesting place. We want to do more of this type of activity, like the real estate. I'm just going to show you another picture. So we're working in behind us on this project. It's just a 3-unit.
Okay.
But we're working at renovating this, or 2-unit. And we hired Catapult, which is a social enterprise run by Outflow.
Yes.
And they're doing the reno.
Oh,
and that should be available in a couple months, hopefully for individuals who have actually worked on the project, which would be really cool. And then we're looking at doing more there. So this would be, whoopsie daisy.
It's okay. It's TV.
Yeah. There's the 2-unit that we're working on, and we want to do these as well beside it.
Oh, okay. So on Xmas Street?
Yeah, on Xmas. So the intention is to keep on investing in the neighborhood and build up its assets and provide good quality housing and do infill projects. So what we want to do is actually scale our financing in order to do more of this.
Right.
So right now we have about $300,000 that we work with, and we want to get to $3 to $5 million. And so part of this year, the 20th anniversary, we want to get to September and have a big celebration, say where we're at, and also talk about our brand, which is going to, it's changing, right? We started as a community loan fund, but I think we're a bit more than the community loan fund now. And so we have to figure that out, where the board's going to be doing some strategy sessions with staff in the month of May and June.
Okay.
And then we'll be working around marketing and telling that story. How do you tell that story? Because we have to tell the story well enough in order to get people back in to recruit investors. So that's my call out.
Well, I really think that you're doing amazing things. I'm so pleased to have you on here, and we'll have you back and see where you are in another year or sooner. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Seth.
Okay.
So please stay tuned. Our last guest coming up is actually doing a launch of his business, and his name is James Weatherby, and he's here to introduce his new Quote Finds app.
Listen, they never sent us any bloody jeeps, never mind artillery. No, the Japs. The Japs are all over us. We're going outside now before they burn the place down. Come on, lads! Osborne, give us a cover! Sir! down! So's Hennessy! All right, fix bayonets! We move out of my orders! Oh my God, grenade! Grenade! Grenade!
Our troops in Hong Kong were the first Canadians to see combat in the Second World War, and the war's first Victoria Cross for Canada was awarded posthumously to Sergeant Major John Osborne of Winnipeg.
Support your local charities and win great prizes by playing bingo on Rogers TV.
I love you. I've fallen in love with the idea of living.
Did you know, since 1985, Crime Stoppers has helped solve close to 8,000 crimes in New Brunswick? Crime Stoppers, 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477 or www.crimenb.ca.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. I'm now with my final guest, my fourth guest for this evening, and his name is James Weatherby, and he's here to talk about quote finds. Hi, James. How are you?
Good. How are you, Heather?
Good. Good.
Thanks for having us on.
Well, you are doing a launch today, and can you tell us what it is?
Yeah. So we just launched our website, Quote Finds, today. So we started off, more looking for a solution to the problem of, home service-related quotes. So anything from movers to cleaners, junk removal, contractors, anything like that.
Okay.
And then, from there, we actually built off to be more of a service provider for the companies themselves and the people that, would be just getting started in their own company themselves, too.
Okay. So quote finds, how is somebody going to be able to find it? How does somebody get involved? How do you find these people to be able to quote finds?
So with our website, we designed it that anybody could sign up. We do ID verification to make sure that customers can trust who they're actually dealing with.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's one of the biggest problems that you run into with the existing providers out there, like Kijiji and stuff like that, because you don't know who you're hiring, right? So we wanted to make something that you could really trust who you're talking to and really have confidence in the purchase that you're making. So
right.
The purpose of the way that we went out in the market now is we're going more after the smaller providers, so like the side hustlers, the gig operators, stuff like that, instead of necessarily going after bigger companies.
Okay.
We still want to service them as well, but we want to create more of an equal access platform and empower the underdog.
Yes.
And really go after the people that are underrepresented in that market now.
Okay. And if somebody, is there a fee for the app to join, and how does that work?
Yeah, so we have a couple different services that you can choose from. So we have some premium services that you can use, but it is free for anybody that wants to use it, both on the customer and the user side. The real idea behind it is we don't want to cut anybody out of the market, but we want to provide enough value that somebody can use it if they want to have a bit more access to a different set of tools.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, for instance, like if I needed a painter, for instance, how would I go about that? I would download your app.
So we're just working on a website right now.
Okay.
We're going to be developing an app, as we go. But with the website, basically what it does is you can go on, you can search through all the painters that are in your area. You can research based on their pricing, their customer review, things like that. And then you can submit the quote request for any ones that you want. And then it's all handled within the website itself. Okay. So you don't have to worry about going and tracking people down and asking your friends and family if they know anybody.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly how I do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's how a lot of people do it.
Do you know somebody?
Yeah, it's a really broken, out of date system, right? So it's something that we wanted to make, bring kind of kicking and screaming into the into the new world, right? So it's trying to make it a little bit easier to find people that you can trust.
Yes.
And open it up to a wider array of the market. Where like now, if you go on Google and search, you're not going to find the guy that's down the street just doing it on the side who wants to make a living for his family, but he's being crowded out by the the bigger operators, that are spending millions of dollars every year in marketing.
Sure.
They can't afford to do that, right? So we wanted to give an equal access platform that makes it easier for everybody.
That's really nice. And I'll focus on painters, for instance, because painters you can get, like there's university painters, college painters.
Yeah.
There's group painters, which, they have a team of 5 or 6, which they, of course, have to charge more because they got to pay their employees.
Absolutely.
Then there's the individual guy who's really, really good, but doesn't get known because he's only one-man job, right? Or a one-man show. So what you're doing is kind of leveling that playing field.
Absolutely.
And that's really interesting. So that's really... I guess you call it entrepreneur friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm we're big fans of the startup community, and all of our founders are very involved in that. So it's very it's essential to us that we can help those people that are just getting started, because we know what it's like getting into that space and trying to compete with the big guys. So the thing to keep in mind when you're dealing with all these different types of companies is, there's nothing against the bigger ones. That's going to be the right fit for a lot of different customers. But it just, if you're somebody that just wants to save some money, but also, wants to be able to trust in the service they're ordering.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to be able to go to somebody that, is on the same level as you, right? So, it's going to be better fit for everybody. It's, we're not going to cut anybody out. It's more to include more.
I like that. Yeah, because all these opportunities will pop up with people that have. Now, will you be able to vet the ones that are painters? Or let's look at something that's more licensed, like an electrician, for instance.
Absolutely, yeah.
Tell me, will he be licensed? Like, how will you know that?
Yeah, so part of the ID verification, so we do it, on everyone. So, I mean, if you're a mover, you're a painter, you don't necessarily have to have a degree in painting, right? That's not,
of course,
not something in that.
You got to like what you do, though.
Exactly, yeah, for sure. It's going to be a boring job if not. But when it comes to something that has to be licensed, we also verify on that front, too. So we make sure that, who you're dealing with is licensed, bondable, those sorts of things as well. So.
Oh, okay. So is it sort of an application process that they go through you guys first?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. So I mean, anybody can create the listing on there, but we're actually going to verify the ones that are going through the process and making sure that they are good.
Yeah.
And that way, we're not going to run into any problems where we're not going to keep anybody out. We're going to try and work with the people that don't necessarily have that and try and give them the opportunity to get there too.
Right.
So it's not just a hard no. It's here's what you got to do to get there.
Well, that's very fair, rather than just a closed door.
Yeah,
for sure. So is it geo-targeted? Like, is that how your website's going to work? Because what if somebody is in Moncton? They're not going to pick up someone that's... No. How does that work for you?
So every provider can set their distance that they're willing to work in, and then they're going to show up geo-located within those areas.
Okay.
So if you have somebody that's working in St. John, but they're willing to travel to Moncton, they can definitely do that. But, it's not going to pick up somebody that's in Halifax, and they're not going to travel and see you. It's going to be whoever's available in that market.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How many do you have so far?
So we just launched this afternoon, and we've signed a few in Halifax and a few in St. John already, and it's continuing to grow. So I mean, it's only been a couple hours, and I'm pretty happy at least to see a little bit of growth.
Well, after this show airs,
I'm hoping we can get a bit more.
Hundreds.
Yeah, that's the goal. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big market. I mean, when we looked at just in established registered companies in the St. John market, there's over 6,000 that we can go after.
Oh, stop.
Oh yeah, it's
Really?
huge in the different areas we want to service. So I mean, and that doesn't actually even look at the ones that are not registered businesses, not ones that are well known, right? I mean, people that are just doing it on the side, they're not going to show up in any of these searches.
Well, no,
so
of
we
course
can get even double that.
Yeah.
It'd be easy to have in a market like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So, how many people are involved in this anyway?
So there's 4 of us. So there's 2 in Nova Scotia and 2 here.
Okay.
My developer, the CTO of the company, he lives here with me, and then there's 2 other guys, our COO, and then our VP of experiences. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why you said they're signing up in Halifax.
Yeah. So we have a bit of a spread there at least. We're getting some in Nova Scotia and some here. We're focusing most of our attention to grow St. John first.
Okay.
And then we're going to go expand out from there.
Excellent. And when you say St. John, do you mean St. John and the surrounding St.
John
area?
Yeah. So
like
greater
Sussex
St. John, yeah.
Yeah, Sussex to St. Stephen's, St. Andrews, and all that stuff.
And with that in mind, anybody can sign up anywhere. Like we could have somebody sign up in Calgary tonight. We're not limiting it. They can grow anywhere they want to grow, because our service is not just in the lead generation that we're going to have from it. There is different services from team member management to everything that you can think of from a booking and payment side, we can handle all that for them. So we don't have to keep it just necessarily here. We're just focusing our attention market by market to help us grow it more effectively in those markets.
Okay. And is there anything out there now that is like your quote finds?
There is other services that do the quote aggregation and help you with that side of things, but they don't really do the full service that we go after, and they target a very different customer. So the existing market really is a pay to play, right? So what they're doing is you have a lot of companies that are very much after the bigger companies because they can pay more in marketing, right? They can pay more in advertising. We're very against that, right? We want to make sure that we're empowering those underdogs, empowering the people that don't have the money to spend on something like that, and we can really, help them exist in the same market that everyone else does. We don't care if they're going to pay us more in marketing because we don't take that, right? That's not our market.
Well, you seem like you're really on the ball about this. Like you probably think about it all the time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So who's your target market for this?
It's very much the side hustlers, the gig operators, as we call them, right? I mean, the gig economy is growing massively in Canada and around the world currently. I mean, there was a study in 2018. There was 2.18 million people that work a side gig right now in Canada.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's growing rapidly, right? There's a lot of people that are starting to have that side hustle that, they're starting to, look outside of just the regular day job, right? And we definitely believe in the next, 15, 20 years, we're going to see a whole different, economy, for Canada and around the world when it comes to stuff like that. We're going to see a lot less people that are just doing the 9 to 5.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with the emergence of technology the way it is, this is where the future is.
Well, technology is taking over a lot of human type of business. For sure, especially with analytics and stats and data, what they call the big data.
Yeah.
And now you're part of that now.
Yeah, well, the thing is with data too, I mean, we don't believe in being the company that's going to just harvest your data and sell it to the highest bidder. That's not what we do. We want to take and use the data effectively to help, these businesses grow, right? Because we can look at market analytics based on the companies that we have to give them a better idea how to price a product to, actually, compete fairly in a market. So it's not just everybody in a race to the bottom when pricing comes up, but also, they can provide a better service for their customers and not have to worry about, just being in that price battle all the time.
Oh my gosh, yes. And you always especially insurance companies, for instance, they always say get 3 quotes, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to call Quote Find.
Yeah, absolutely, right? I mean, that's the sort of thing we want to make, right? I mean, we're very much in the home service space. I mean, we're going after those sorts of service providers. But in the future, we can grow past that with any different service, right? It's really setting the stage for what we believe the future is going to be.
Excellent. So before we leave you today, how do people find you? Again, just to be clear.
So we're on Facebook under Quote Finds, and then we
it's Quote Finds all one word.
Yep, all one word. And then we also have our website, like I said, that just launched this afternoon. So it's quotefinds.ca, and we're also on .com as well. But we love to support .ca. So.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I wish you a huge success in your business and your Quote Finds, and I look forward to seeing what you can add. And so if you go on your website, will you be able to see all of the different services you provide, or is it only if you search for your services?
Well, so I mean, we have on the main page, it's actually going to show you all the different service providers that we look for in the industries that we work with. But then it's going to start to populate as we add more and more service providers. We don't just put up blank headers and we're going to have this company that may not actually be on the service. We're just putting their information there. We want them to be an active participant in the site. So whoever's on there is actually an active participant.
Great. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's really cool. So we'll see how many you populate tonight.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be big.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, James. I really appreciate you being here with us this evening, and I look forward to great success.
Awesome.
All right, and thank you so much for tuning in tonight's show. I would like to thank James, and I would also like to thank Seth, Jim, Vanessa, Jennifer, and Olivia for all being my guests this evening. And always think about you, the audience, and the volunteers at Rogers Studio. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time in 2 weeks.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
When you become a Rogers volunteer, it's always an opportunity for everybody to come together and try different things that they've never been able to do before.
What I've learned here is different skills that I thought I would never even be interested in learning.
By being here at Rogers, I can learn all these different things that will help me be stronger.
Working here as a volunteer is a good way to get to know your community. It's a good way to learn how to work as a part of a team.
They're people from our community, so they know and they have a heart for our community to step outside of our comfort zone and do more.
Don't be afraid, because this is where you're going to gain the most valuable experience that you can use in your future.
I encourage everybody to be a volunteer at Rogers TV because not only do you grow professionally, you grow personally as well.
This is Rogers TV, New Brunswick.
He fell. Whoa, I'm not driving. I'm way too stoned. How are you feeling, Beer?
Oh, since we had that talk, I'm not driving tonight at all.
What about you, Dave?
You only had a couple of drinks.
And only a couple of puffs.
I don't drink and drive. No way I'm getting behind the wheel when I smoked weed, too.
How are we getting home, then?
You can drive, Dave.
Come on, Dave.
Take one for the team, buddy.
Don't let weed and alcohol influence your decision to drive.
Yeah, I need a ride.
Are you the type who would keep going or stop? It's not easy to stop when you have an addiction. Legalizing cannabis won't stop it.